Cyprus, a growing tech hub and investment gateway into the EU.
Thank you very much for the invitation from the Sigma Group, and it's my pleasure to welcome you, dear invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, to today's short presentation, but I would like to believe it will be meaningful to you. For those that know what we are doing at InvestCyprus, I kindly request your patience. As you might know, a lot of the things that we are doing. And for those that don't know, I think it will be quite interesting. I would like to start that this month, not only this month, but actually the whole next year, it's very much going to be devoted in tech. And InvestCyprus will be promoting, facilitating, and helping companies from the tech sector, whether it's from the gaming industry, from the fintech industry, shipping tech, but also other tech-related sectors. This month alone, only September, we do have in Cyprus only 8 international events where tech, fintech, regtech, software, game tech will be presented. And Sigma is one of the leading international conferences, so I'm very pleased that we are here. Now, without further ado, let me start by showcasing what is the threefold mandate of InvestCyprus. Basically, we are the national entity, national authority responsible for foreign direct investments, and that is inbound foreign investment into the country. We are the first point of contact usually for investors, and we work in parallel with the accountants, lawyers, service providers, fiduciaries, and any professional firm that you will select or the company will select to facilitate the launching of operations in Cyprus and hopefully grow from Cyprus into other nearby markets. So we do promote the country in locations across the globe, key cities, but also in events in Cyprus. We do join events such as Sigma and other international events. We also organize the International Investment Awards under the auspices of the President of the Republic, where every year companies are awarded for their contribution to the Cyprus economy. The second pillar of the mandate is facilitation. Not only we promote and we go abroad and talk to companies and try to explain how the Cyprus tech platform can be beneficial to them, but also once they are here, we are, if you like, their house. We would like to think of InvestCyprus as the foreign investors' house, and that's how hopefully you will be thinking of it after this presentation. Another very important pillar is advocacy and reform. We do not have the power ourselves to change laws and regulations, but we do make suggestions to the lawmaker to possibly either change existing laws that are non-friendly to foreign investment, or in some cases introduce new legislation, of course always under the approval of the European Union. I think you are aware mostly of the characteristics of Cyprus. As you know, Nicosia is the capital city. Second largest city is Limassol, and we have Larnaca and Paphos following up, and Famagusta. It's true that over the last 4 years, we have seen increasing investments in the technology sector, and I can say proudly that we have tech companies in all cities of Cyprus. And Limassol, of course, is well known because many of the big giants are located in Limassol. Nicosia is also very well attracting investments in technology companies. I was reading yesterday in one brand new corporate building, 5 multinational tech companies are present now, for example, in Nicosia. So Limassol and Nicosia are the drivers, but Larnaca and Paphos are following up very closely, including Famagusta, the free Famagusta. So it's all over the country. And this is helpful because that means in every city, there is a cluster, a tech cluster, professionals that can interact and communicate to further enrich and grow the tech ecosystem. Moving on the sectors which drive investment into the country, of course, we are focusing on tech. That's why we are here. But just to mention to you, shipping industry, we are in the city which is a major port, in Europe, but also worldwide, Limassol. We are also seeing investments in tourism, hospitality, in hotels, whether it's in greenfield, brownfield, or even acquisitions of existing hotels, higher education, universities, and also partnerships of the existing universities with international universities. Just to highlight here, the American University of Beirut, one of the best universities in rankings in the Middle East, North Africa region, is now operating a fully fledged campus in Paphos, while other universities have set up partnerships with existing Cypriot universities. Entrepreneurship, innovation, R&D, research, and startups are part of the same cluster, and for us is a top priority. Now, why Cyprus? I think some of you are familiar. The attractive tax regime, the positive economic outlook, access to talent, access to markets, excellent regulatory infrastructure, low cost of doing business and the high quality of life, reliable business support services. The fact that we are in European Union, full member of the EU, but also a full member of the British Commonwealth, and yet we are 40 minutes from Tel Aviv, Israel. We are about an hour from Cairo, Egypt. Egypt, a population of more than 100 million people, great market. We are just 25 minutes from Beirut airport in Lebanon, and also with excellent ties and connections to the Gulf states and the Gulf region. That basically is a very important geostrategic location, and we are functioning as a bridge between Europe and the MENA region. Now, on the positive economic outlook, you might see here some figures. Of course, we all suffered during the pandemic, 2020, and it was a negative GDP. Yet, Cyprus, it was a bit better than the EU and the Eurozone average. We were at negative 4.4, while EU was at negative 5.6. 2021, I would like to highlight that Cyprus was on a growth path already with 6.6%, while the EU was 5.6 and the Eurozone 5.4. 2022 GDP real, Cyprus 5.6, the EU 3.7, and the Eurozone 3.5. While for 2023, projections, real GDP 2.8, unemployment rate 6.5 estimated, and inflation 3.2, while the public debt around 81.1%. Now, the fact that we are a full member of the Eurozone, as I mentioned before, and the European Union and the Commonwealth, and the fact that we have more than 65 double tax avoidance treaties with other nations, this is very fruitful for investors and companies that plan to invest in Cyprus. And I can tell you from our experience that through Cyprus, there are companies servicing internationally their clients, whether in Africa, in Asia, Middle East, Europe, even in the US and Canada. And I will refer to some examples. Access to talent, we have the EU, which is a great pool of talent, but since the tech industry is facing its challenges as regards some professions in the tech industry, we are also having incentives to be able to have experts, professionals in the tech sector from non-EU countries. And this is incentives that basically we are introducing Cyprus in 2019 and proved to be quite important for tech companies. Multilingual workforce, almost everybody in Cyprus speaks English. We have one of the highest EU tertiary education percentages, and highly skilled professionals which have been servicing the international community for more than 50 years. Now, on the EU scale, per Eurostat, you can see that Cyprus, 58% of the Cyprus population is aged between the ages of 30 and 34, has a tertiary education degree well above the EU average of 42%. Cost of living, some cities, Cyprus is all the way at the end, but if I can help you compare, because you don't maybe see the cities, Tel Aviv, Paris, Amsterdam, Helsinki, Luxembourg, and all the way down, you can see the comparison table. Now, this is the clusters of professionals that exist in Cyprus, servicing the international community, the business community, more than 700 registered accounting firms, more than 3,900 registered accountants, more than 160 registered law firms, which represent basically more than 2,700 lawyers. 80% of the economy is based on services, and a very strong network of financial and professional services, including, of course, fintechs, payment institutions, investment funds, and investment firms. The regulatory infrastructure is very good to say here that the legislation in Cyprus is based on the British common law, one of the most reliable systems, worldwide legal systems, and this is very important for investors. Now, just some words on the pillars that we are focusing. Number one for us, priority, and most of our investment as InvestCyprus goes into the first pillar, which is international business center focused on tech. And as I mentioned before, tech is across sectors. We can see it being applied in gaming, in shipping, in banking, in payments, and many more. So we are giving a lot of attention. We are very pleased that we are seeing every day new companies being interested to set up in Cyprus. And last year, if I can say the statistic, last year, 2022, we had 47 international tech companies setting up offices in Cyprus. And those 47 international tech companies basically have contributed to also bringing professionals in Cyprus. And the statistics, we have 9,000 working permits professionals in 2022, most of them in the tech sector. And of course, the reunification and the ability for the spouses to work, that increased the number of new people coming into Cyprus. I think presently the figures stands from beginning of 2022 till now, more than 25,000 people came to Cyprus, especially because of incentives for professionals. The second pillar, which is very important, is investments in strategic projects, and that concerns investments in hospitality, tourism, healthcare, education, and renewable energy. We do have a database where we can showcase to investors available projects that are open for investments. They are mature projects. They have all the permits, and they are ready to be invested in from day one. So they are investable projects available to investors and investment firms. The third pillar is promoting Cyprus as a jurisdiction for funds and asset management. Since 2013, there was a lot of improvement in the local ecosystem for funds, new legislations that are par with what is happening in Europe, Luxembourg, in Ireland, in Malta. So we have the legislations for the UCITS, the legislations for the alternative investment funds, for the registered alternative investment fund, the RAIF, the fund managers legislation. So that sector increased tremendously over the last years, and now we are standing at close to 11 billion euros of assets under management with Cyprus domicile, that is registered investment funds. So on the tech cluster, I won't spend time here. I would like to showcase some of the brands, logos of companies that are in Cyprus, and I would like to stand here with two examples. MUFG, Mitsubishi Bank conglomerate, and also Murex, the French multinational. These two groups are considered to be world's best employers, and both of them, they benchmarked Cyprus before moving into Cyprus with other jurisdictions. We were there from day one to provide all the information, all the statistics for their consultants, because usually these companies, they appoint consultants to consult and advise the board, the decision-making team, for their selection of jurisdictions. In both cases, for the French multinational Murex, but also the Japanese Mitsubishi, Cyprus scored #1 in terms of benefits for these companies. So from the time they decided, within 2 months, they had fully fledged offices in Cyprus, the company registered, and already teams were working in their premises. It's good to say that with the fast-track mechanism of employing non-EU personnel, within 4 weeks, experts were coming in already with the working permits, working for the companies. I'm sure you know some of the other great names like Dadart, like Exnes, Swart, Reich, you know, all great companies. All of them employ thousands of people in Cyprus, and quite a number of them are expanding and are looking to hire more people. High quality of life, I think you are living it, so I don't need to say too much about that. We are blessed with having a natural beauty, scene, safety, one of the best cuisines, and also clean waters. So enjoy Limassol and Cyprus as long as you are here, and hope you will be back very soon. Attractive tax system, the effort of the government over the last years, it was to complement the advantages and incentives offered for the corporates, as you can see on the right side, with incentives and benefits for the individuals, for the employees. Because it's evident that in order to have productive companies, the employees also need to be happy. They need to enjoy the benefits. So the government came up with incentives. One of the most important is tax exemption of 50% for a minimum income of 55,000 euros per year and above for the period of 17 years. A very important incentive for professionals working in tech companies, but also in other companies. And then the tax-free band, which stands at 19,500 euros for all tax residents. Universities in Cyprus, we have 11 universities, and it's nice to also highlight here that every year they are being upgraded in the rankings, and also there are more than 40 colleges. Now, some of the universities produce quite significant research, and the plan of the Deputy Ministry of Digitalization, together with the Research Innovation Foundation, and the private sector is to try to commercialize all that research for the benefit of the industry. The incentives package that I mentioned before, basically this is what is composed of the tax incentives, the social insurance agreements, the revised immigration policy for international business, family reunification and employment of family members, digital nomad visa, the startup visa, and also the possibility to have the permanent residency in Cyprus and hopefully claim the naturalization. This slide is very important because it shows that during the pandemic period and post-pandemic period, and because of these incentives that we are offered, without us realizing what will be the end result, because this is the reality. In 2019, before COVID, we suggested to the government, as InvestCyprus, 26 professions for tech, for companies to be able to get these experts into the country with fast-track procedures from non-EU countries. So that passed from the ministerial cabinet with some tax incentives. And what happened after these incentives that we are offered, if we look at the region and the instability, and we started with the tragedy in Lebanon with the explosion in the Beirut port, that led to tech multinationals wanting to exit. One of the options was Cyprus. The package was there. The word came around that Cyprus is having a very good tax and incentives package for tech companies. Other companies joined, and of course, what nobody envisioned and nobody thought will happen is the invasion of Russia into Ukraine, which after that we were seeing US companies exiting St. Petersburg, Moscow, and other places. Some of them were looking at Cyprus. The package was already here. So some companies relocated, and they are working successfully in Cyprus. Okay, we are running out of time. Just to show you here, Cyprus is ranked top 10 for countries in terms of post-pandemic recovery. Actually, we are number 3 worldwide. This is FDI magazine of Financial Times, and we went up 50 places in 2021, so we were at number 18. Finishing up, I won't say anything about the projects, the database. Just want to show the film, 2-minute film, and the vision of 2035, where we want to make Cyprus one of the best countries to live, work, and do business in. Thank you. The film, and we are open for you. We are your house.
My name is 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐬, and I'm a solution architect at an international technology company.
Hi, I'm 𝐉𝐴𝐬𝐬𝐬. I'm working as a general manager. It's a technology company, mostly Cypriot-based.
My name is 𝐾𝐨𝐬𝐬𝐬, and I'm a regional people partner for West Europe.
I'm Marios. I'm business development manager at the biggest international gaming company here in Cyprus.
I feel like Cyprus is a great place to live and work in general. The fact that the tech industry is now becoming so alive and so present, of course, makes it better, right? Tech people are able to mingle, are able to meet, they're able to create a community, they're able to move around, obviously, and grow within the industry. Cannot think of a better place. I think it's one of the best places in Europe, to be honest.
The tech industry is growing, and I think there's a lot of software companies that are in the process of relocating or that are already well established in Cyprus. So, this is important for talented professionals because they can find opportunities quite easily and they can grow professionally. The incentives that are also offered by the Cypriot governments are key, both for companies but also for employees.
Regarding the workforce in Cyprus in general, and the level itself is amazing. Like, we have a lot of engineers that are really, really good. I'm talking about globally good. They compete with people in Israel, they compete with people in Netherlands. I can measure the quality. And here we have seriously very good engineers. Slowly create enough buzz to bring more and create more work opportunities for people here in Cyprus.
It's just an amazing place to be when you want to brainstorm any new ideas or just to collaborate with different professionals. We do hire locals. We do relocate people from other places. It doesn't really matter for us where this person from. So if you're a good professional, if you're aiming for the great results, the doors will be open for you here. It's a very nice work-life balance. So you can get work done 1 minute, and then other minute you can go to the beach and have a relaxing evening there.
It's very easy to adjust to Cyprus. You make here friends very fast. People are very nice and easygoing. I believe Cyprus is doing something right because I see the attraction and I see a future here. For me, for other employees here.
I've managed to play football twice a week. This is nice. At least once per week, I go out with my wife and friends, for dinner, some drinks.
It's a very easygoing place. You can really have your life. Whatever your lifestyle is, however you are, you're going to find a place in Cyprus. You can make Cyprus your home. I learned to live slowly and taste every minute.